Well, hi, Lizzie. How are you today?
Good, how are you?
Good. Thank you so much for spending the time with me this afternoon for this podcast.
Yeah, I was really excited.
Great. Well, let's start with the easy stuff. How old are you and what grade are you in?
I am 13 years old and I'm in eighth grade.
Eighth grade. And so do you go to a middle school?
I do, yes.
Yeah, yeah. How is eighth grade?
It's pretty good so far, but we're still pretty early into the year, so a lot could happen.
Is there a lot more homework in eighth grade than there is in seventh and sixth?
I wouldn't say necessarily. I would just say it's harder. It's a little harder in eighth grade, but the homework hasn't been too bad so far.
Yeah, cool. So I know you are a musician because you have played your guitar for me. Guitar sounded like that sounded weird. Your guitar. Tell me when you started playing guitar and what got you interested in it.
So I started playing guitar when I was in third grade. So I don't know how old I would be, like 9, 10, around that age. And truthfully, I started playing guitar because I thought it'd be cooler if I played guitar. I wanted to have something cool to say, so I started playing guitar.
Did your family own a guitar or what made you choose guitar?
Yeah, so my dad has been like playing guitar since like high school, and then my mother also had a guitar. Uh, and I used to take piano lessons when I was little, so I was already sort of music oriented. And so playing guitar was just one of those things. I was like, oh, maybe this would be fun to do.
Great. So tell me about what you're doing with it now. Do you write songs? Are you recording anything?
Yeah, so I do write songs. I have one song. We're going to take it to a recording studio in a couple weeks. So that's exciting. But before that, I have my guitar teacher. He has a sort of little recording set, garage band thing. So I would record some of my covers and other songs that I've written in there. So,
What's the process like for writing a song for you?
I guess I would say I always start out with finding a melody, finding a line, I guess, for it. Uh, that's way it's so much easier to write music for it. Um, so that's sort of how I start out, and then I always try to figure out exactly what I want to write the song about. So whether it be about love, whether it be about like heartbreak, I want to figure that out, and then I can start writing lyrics about things I've heard, sayings, and stuff like that. I just sort of like to outline it.
Do you have love and heartbreak right now?
No, actually. Well, I mean, I guess I've been through some tough times currently, so um, I have a couple sad songs, but just overall, I really enjoy writing, and I just like to write things that I can relate to, and because if I can relate to them, they're easier to write. So,
That's right. What is the song about that you're going to record here next?
so the song that I'm recording right now, or that I'm going to record is, it's basically about losing people. So whether that be interpreted however you like, but it was triggered, me writing that song was because my grandfather died earlier this year. And so that sort of set off the domino effect. So,
And were you pretty close to your grandfather?
I would say so.
Yeah, yeah. And so does the songwriting help you cope with those emotions and get them out?
Yeah, it's just another way for me to really speak. Sometimes it's hard for me to be able to express those feelings. So in song form, I think it's a little easier.
Yeah, I bet. So how long does it take to write a song? Does it just come to you as a burst of inspiration and you can't write fast enough? Or do you work on it for a couple weeks?
It really depends. So I'll have one song that I'm writing on, and I can get a verse, a chorus, another verse down in like an hour, and then I suddenly can't write anymore, and it takes me weeks to finish it. And sometimes I can finish them in a couple of days. I can finish them in an hour. It really just depends.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I find music and writing music and just coming up with the melodies absolutely like genius work because it seems like everything is already out there and to be able to come up with something new, it just it's just mind-boggling to me.
Yeah, I guess I feel like that sometimes too. I'm just sort of there's so many things, there are so many things out there that it's like, have I heard this before? Am I just thinking of this from something else, you know? But it really is fun. I really do enjoy it.
How many hours a day do you practice? Or maybe minutes?
It really varies. I would say I have some other after school activities too, but I would say at like half an hour a day, and then sometimes on the weekend I'll do it a couple times a day. So I would say like half an hour per session of me practicing.
Yeah, yeah. So what other activities do you have?
I play volleyball, so I guess that's my other activity. Yeah,
And when did you start playing volleyball?
I started in the 6th grade, I believe.
How is sports for you? I know for me personally, I was always intimidated by starting sports and doing a new team. Did you find that true, or were you just like gung ho, go for it?
I find that very, very true. I only did volleyball because I knew some friends on the team. I'm not the most like extroverted person, I would say. I can be with friends, but in general, meeting new people, I wouldn't say so. So I did it because I had some other friends, and it was nerve-wracking. It was really scary. I guess like you, it's hard just doing something where you don't really know how it's going to turn out. So
Yeah. Do you have a saying that you say to yourself that talks you into it?
I guess I just not necessarily. I just like to think that it's going to be okay, and I like to strive to get better. I don't like falling behind, so be something. Don't fall behind. Keep going.
Great.
So
The computer kind of lagged a little bit. Will you say your saying again about not falling behind?
yeah. So I guess just not falling behind is one of those things that I really don't like doing almost. So I don't. I guess don't fall behind and keep going is one of my things. So.
I like that. I like that. So sixth grade was middle school. I've heard that that was a little bit hard for you. Is that true?
Yeah,
Tell
yeah.
me a little bit about it.
Just a lot of friend drama. I think 6th grade stinks. I know it's like crazy. You're going into middle school, and coming from 5th grade, you're like, oh yes, 6th grade. Like I feel so grown up. But then you get there, and you're like, maybe not. There's just a lot of new territory. Everyone's sort of fighting to find their place in it. So it really takes a while to find your groove and stuff. And even then, there's bumps along the road. I lost some friends in 6th grade. I made some new friends, and I got hurt along the way, but I guess that's sort of part of growing up. And I learned a lot of stuff. I got a lot of valuable lessons from 6th grade. So.
Hmm. And what was it like when you were going through it, like losing a friend or something? Would it be something where they were just being mean, and then you decided that that's probably not a good friend for you?
I don't know if it was necessarily that. It was more over caught between two sides, if that makes sense. And so I took one side, and it didn't necessarily turn out well for me. So in the end, I ended up sort of just, distancing myself from them. And I think I've grown a lot from that. And I definitely feel better about, almost, I wouldn't say cutting them off, but, distancing myself from that.
So if there was another girl going into sixth grade or starting sixth grade right now, and she's first starting to deal with those friend dramas,
Yeah.
from your perspective, what advice would you give her?
Ooh, that's rough. I guess thinking about it from my perspective, what I would have told myself if I was going into 6th grade, stick with people who make you happy. If you feel stressed out around someone and you feel like you're walking on eggshells, they're probably not the best person to be hanging out with. Your relationships and friendships are supposed to be to help you get better, to help you grow, to make you happy. So if you're feeling stressed and you're feeling hurt by them, they're not really working out that well. So I guess
Yeah.
that's
Yeah. So what do you say to them if you realize that? Now, how do you tell them that? Or do you just kind of distance yourself away, and you have any ideas on that?
I would definitely say what I've done in the past was I've basically distanced myself. So it sort of almost happens, in my case, it happened both ways. We just both ended up growing apart and distancing ourselves. And I think that was for the best. But I went the the non-confrontation route and just distanced myself. But
Yeah. Yeah. Do you feel like there's a lot of peer pressure in middle school?
definitely a lot of peer pressure. Just there was a lot of peer pressure to fit in. So I almost completely changed myself just to fit in. So I dressed different. I wore makeup, and I just tried to change myself to be cooler and to fit what was popular. And I think I'm happier now than I was back then, because I'm starting to find myself and starting to find people who make me happy. But yeah, peer pressure is a big thing, and I would say just stay true to yourself.
Yeah, that's hard to do, isn't it? Like, just to be in the middle of it and be like, you know what? I'm okay. That's your deal. Where do you think that peer pressure comes from? I mean, do you think it's one person or one group of friends that does that, or is it just the way the world is?
Sadly enough, I think it's just the way the world is.
Mhm.
It's human nature to try and fit in to be in a group, and
Yeah,
so I think that's just how it works, which stinks. I mean, peer pressure isn't always a good thing, but
yeah.
it's most people go through it.
So do you think that it's eased up in 7th and 8th grade, or did it just start easing up, that peer pressure feeling, in 8th grade?
I would say just in 8th grade. 7th grade was also a little rough, but 8th grade, I feel as though people are starting to mature, at least a little bit. Most people are. Um, so I think it's getting easier. I hope it's easier in high school, but I mean, I never know.
You never know, but I've heard from people that middle school is the hardest. But I don't know. It's been so long. I don't really remember. And I didn't have a middle school. I went to a school that had like 1st through 8th grade.
Yeah.
So it was kind of transitioned into just high school. All right. So this podcast is called Girl Brave. And Lizzie, I know you are brave, and I would love to hear your definition of being brave.
My definition of being brave. I guess I would say um, not being afraid to do something that, I guess, doing something out of your comfort zone, but also just being able to, and just to be able to break out of that norm and just to be yourself. I think that in of itself is being brave. Um, so I would definitely say that being fearless and being able to be yourself in a world where people want to be the same.
Hmm. You are so strong and so brave, and you have such a great light coming from you since the day I met you. I just absolutely love your spirit. Is that
Yeah.
your guitar behind you?
That is my mother's guitar.
Is your guitar close? Can I put you on the spot and have you sing just like a little bit of your song?
I can play that guitar if you want me
Okay.
to.
Yeah, I'd
There.
love to hear it.
Okay. Anything in particular? Would you like to hear one of my songs, or would you like to?
Please. Yes, I want to hear one of your songs.
Okay. I guess let's go. Echoes from my past scream louder and louder. Am I allowed to be sad? like a clown in the corner. Am I selfish? Wishing you were still here, but I'm not sure where to go from now. But I miss you, and our conversations far from you. Wish I could say that I love you, but the sky is turning gray, and I don't know what to do. Oh, I miss you. So there's a little bit of that.
That's brilliant. Your voice is so beautiful.
Thank you.
What does it feel like to share that with the world, share that song?
It's definitely nerve-wracking. Just because, I mean, it's something I did, and I don't really know how, if other people will like it, but, so I would say it's scary, but it's also a little exciting.
Yeah.
Especially since, I'm getting recorded soon, it's starting to feel a little real. So, I guess.
It's a beautiful song.
Thank you.
As an artist myself, I also have trouble, or not trouble, but think about what I put out there. Like, will someone like it? That kind of thing. If there's another musician like you out there, again, I'd love to hear kind of what you tell yourself to just push past that fear and just put it out there anyway.
I guess I definitely say to myself, not all people will like it, it's one of those things. Not everyone's gonna have to like everything you do, but I like it. It makes me happy. And so definitely one of those reassuring things.
I love it. All right, so I have some fun questions now.
Okay.
All right. Jeans or leggings?
Ooh, leggings.
Salty or sweet?
Sweet.
Reading or Netflix?
Netflix?
Who do you admire most and why?
Admire most. It's a hard question. I guess I would say I really admire my parents, but I really admire my dad. He's, I guess, gone through a lot. He's in the military, so I admire his bravery for doing that. And he's been such a big inspiration and helpful through my musical path. So.
Career.
Yeah.
If you were to have one superpower, what would you like it to be?
I don't know. I guess I would say maybe it's hard. Perhaps I guess reading minds would be cool. Also maybe super strength would be pretty cool.
That would be pretty cool. What's the last book that you've read?
The last book I read, I think the last book I read was Lucky Broken Girl.
Did you enjoy it?
I did. It was really good.
Great. And who is your favorite musician?
That's really hard. I guess someone I really like. I guess someone I like currently. I like Lenny Kravitz. He's pretty cool.
Yeah, he's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Well, that's all the questions I have for you today, Lizzie. Thank you so much for being here. You will definitely have to send me that recording when it's out there so I can share it on the podcast, okay?
Okay.
Okay, good luck with everything.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Awesome. Good job.